You would think after reaching the highest level in your profession that you would understand how to conduct yourself when you're not on the job. In this case, the NBA. You're an NBA player, you work your whole life, make it to the NBA, you finally get there, you get paid a lot of money, tens of millions of dollars, 20s, depending on who you are, how big of a star you are, how big your name is. You could be making 20, 30, 40 million dollars a year in some cases with brands and all that stuff. So you understand that, hey man, I'm a brand. You become a brand. You are a representation of the city that you play for, the fans, the organization, and you as a human being. You carry that responsibility 24/7, 365. And for the most part, all of us as humans carry that same weight. But as a pro athlete, the responsibility is even bigger because every single thing you do links back to your brand and it could damage your brand. So we have a situation here where an NBA player by the name of Ja Morant can't keep his act together. He's been accused of punching a teenager in the head, threatening him with a gun last summer. Apparently he punched his kid 12, 13 times. That's one incident. That's not even just like an isolated thing with Ja Morant. He also has had problems with threatening security guards at malls. This is an issue. This is a big problem that is piling up, right? It's just piling up. I wonder how Adam Silver, the commissioner of the NBA, how he's going to handle this. But this is thug life culture, folks. It doesn't matter if they're still on the block, they make it to the NBA. A thug is a thug, no matter what. No matter what, how many zeros are in the bank account. You cannot change that fact. You can have 10 cents in the bank. You can have 10 million in the bank. If you're a thug, you're a thug. And what we're looking at here, folks, we might be looking at a thug, a NBA thug. He reportedly punched a 17-year-old teen boy 12, 13 times, went to go get a gun. Then, when he spoke to police, he claimed that he did it. He got the gun in self-defense. Then says that the boy threatened him. Say he's going to go and get some people and come back. Don't know if it's true or not. I wasn't there. But the police did an investigation. They came to a conclusion that no charges should be pressed on either party. This is what they came to. Then Ja Morant decides that he's going to go down to a shoe store and threaten employees because his mama called and said, son, I need help. I'm in an argument and I can't control my emotions. I can't control myself. So I need you to come down here and bring your posse and handle things for me because I raised you and you must do what I say. So the mom, not understanding that, hey, your son is a brand. He can't be getting involved in these shenanigans, but she don't care because she knows her son is a thug. A thug first, an NBA player second. So when mama called, you better come running. Notice she didn't call her husband. She called Ja Morant. Think about that. She said, I'm going to put him on the line. I'm going to put him in danger. So when mama called and said, hey, I'm in an argument with a finish line employee. You better come down right now and save me. You better come down here and get me out of trouble and bring the homies. This is crazy. Thug culture, thug life in real time, folks. And Morant's not the only guy. There's plenty of other NBA players who are the same way. Now, you got some guys in the league that are fake thugs. Like, it's just mostly like on the court. But Ja Morant, who we thought at some point, well, this guy's just a fake thug. I think this guy might actually be a thug. He might be. If I'm making $30 million dollars a year, I don't need to pretend to be a thug. I don't think that would be an act. For what? I'm going to risk throwing away my career to pretend to be a thug? Doesn't make any sense. No, you are a thug. In a statement, Morant's agent, Jim Tanner, characterized the allegations as unsubstantiated rumors and gossip are being put out by people motivated to tear Ja down and tarnish his reputation for their own financial gain. So let me get this straight. The mall security guard, the head of security at the mall, the finish line employees, and the teenage boy, the 17-year-old boy that you threatened at your house and punched 13 times and went to go get a gun. They're all colluding to get you? They're all after you? I mean, these are 3 different incidents, 3 different situations. They must all be like sidekick. They must say, man, okay, you go to Morant's house, play ball, make him threaten you with a gun. A month later, he'll come to finish line. Like, they must have knew, okay, the mom's going to come to finish line. We're going to start an argument with her. So she calls him down. He comes with the posse, and then the head of security will show up and he'll get threatened. All that must have been planned out from like, they must have all knew this was going to happen. Come on. Look, I like a good conspiracy theory here and there. I dive into that a bit sometimes, but this ain't it. Come on, Tanner. Look, I get it. You got to defend your client. You got to defend him. I mean, Josh, if he gets out of this and he, barring anything major, him killing anybody, he's going to make a lot of money. And you want to be part of that train. I get it. So you're going to say and defend your client to the fullest, as you should. That's your job. But they're not out to get him. This is a guy who's in the life, or at least wants to be in the life. The incident with the teenage boy, Tanner said, was purely self-defense. Again, after this was fully investigated by law enforcement, they came to the decision not to charge Ja with any crime. Okay, let's back this up a bit. Let's dissect this statement. He says that the allegation involving a firearm was fully investigated and could not be corroborated, right? But then he said the NBA investigated and found no evidence. But didn't Ja Morant admit to the police that he went and got the gun in self-defense? So apparently a firearm was involved. And he pulled the gun out because the kid in self-defense. This is what Ja said. This is what they said in an earlier statement that Ja told the police. So the police looked at it like, hey, it's at his house. It's not really, he pulled the gun out on a guy in his house, even though it was a kid, but still, it's his house. He didn't use it, and cops probably looked at it like, well, if the kid was being a dick, maybe it's wishy-washy. Like, it's not a lot of details. But just because the police didn't find anything, that doesn't mean that nothing happened. Maybe the cops didn't do an investigation. Maybe the NBA didn't really want to find out. If the NBA wants to investigate, they collaborate with the law enforcement. Hey, what you got? I mean, this is what he said. This is what he said. NBA goes and unless it's on video, of course they're gonna say, well, we ain't got no evidence. But this is a pattern, folks. That was just one incident by itself. Yeah, you can say, well, it's nothing there. But this is a pattern of behaviors. So I like how the agent only responds to that incident, but he didn't really say much about the other stuff. So the Grizzlies declined comment. An NBA spokesperson said the league takes allegations of inappropriate conduct very seriously. Yeah, I bet they do. Grizzlies head coach Taylor Jenkins also declined to give a comment, but indicated support for Morant. Well, you better. He's a star player. You better support him, right? I mean, so troubling allegations against Morant, one of the NBA's rising stars since he entered the NBA. Morant has gained fame as a dynamic talent who regularly goes viral with highlight reel dunks. He's a clear star of the Grizzlies, who are on track to make the playoffs for the third straight year. We'll get into all that. Then another incident, of course, happened involving the Pacers early this year, that Morant's posse had an aggressively confronted a member of the Pacers traveling party after a January 29th game. Later, someone in Morant's SUV allegedly trained a red laser on the staffers as it drove by slowly. So this is the type of stuff we're talking about. The Pacers security guard reportedly said that's 100% a gun about the laser, and the incident left one person involved saying they felt we were in grave danger. NBA later investigated the incident and banned certain people involved from attending games. So basically, NBA said, well, we can't find no evidence, so we're just going to say, don't come to the game. You're banned. So the NBA is running cover here. We know what they do. They want to protect their brand, their star. If they rather not find nothing than to say, yeah, we're going to hold these guys accountable because they don't want a black eye on the sport. I get it. The NBA is running for cover here. But this is a pattern of stuff. We just went over like 2, 3, 4 different incidents involving Ja Morant, his posse, his mom, and other stuff. This is not some elaborate scheme to go after Ja Morant as the agent's trying to elude. I mean, come on. This is crazy, folks. I mean, NBA culture, thug life culture, and making excuses. And this is not good for Morant because everybody around him, including the NBA, is making excuses for this guy's behavior. So that emboldens him. I'm untouchable. Who's gonna I'm the rising star in the league. I can do what I want. And then when someone gets killed, then what's going to happen? I think the NBA is going about this the wrong way. Even if there's no criminal situation here, I get it. I'm just saying from a brand standpoint, you need to lay down the law here. You need to step up and say, hey, this is going to be a zero tolerance for these type of actions involving NBA players. When you're off the court, you represent the NBA still. You represent yourself. You represent your community. You must conduct yourself respectfully and professionally at all times. The NBA needs to count the latest SmackDown and let it be known, or their brand is going to suffer as it is already suffering. Ratings are low. Could you imagine if Morant played in New York and this was going on? This would be a bigger story. Lucky he plays in Memphis, so no one really cares. It's just Memphis. Not a big deal. Ooh. If this guy played in New York or LA, I can guarantee this thing would be much bigger. So the NBA is hoping that this goes away. But the problem is the story may go away, but the behavior and the thug culture will not go away. And the NBA's made their bed. They lied. They made their bed. They're in bed with this type of culture, and now they gotta live with it. That's it, folks. They decided. They went all in. They put all the chips in on this type of behavior, this type of culture, and that's why they're making these say, "Oh, no investigation. We investigated. Nothing happened. We found no evidence, and we're just gonna let it slide." That's because the NBA is in bed with this type of culture. Adam Silver doesn't have any balls. He's afraid. And that's going to be the NBA's downfall. Let us know what you guys think in the comments. Do you think John Morant is a thug? Do you think the NBA should crack down and suspend him for a long time? What do you think should happen? Or maybe you think John Morant is being targeted. Maybe you're one of those people that believe John Morant is being targeted and he's innocent completely and people just want to get his money. Whatever side you fall on that, let us know in the comments. And that's that.